Ave Coder. In this video, we'll talk about what procrastination is and how to defeat it. Procrastination is an endless avoidance of getting on with tasks. Whether you are procrastinating to begin a brand new task, or you're stuck in the middle of it, or you are 2 steps away from the completion. So let's try to get our heads around why does such a phenomenon has got its place in Coder's life. Everything we do in this life, all this stuff we occupy our brains and our little hands with, leads to 2 basic outcomes, either pain or pleasure. Everything else is just the colors in between. In 99% of all cases, we assume that we know or sense what the outcome is going to be, and this motivation sometimes subconsciously controls our actions and thoughts. By the way, when we do something because we don't want to be punished for not doing it, it's basically an attempt to avoid pain and get some sort of pleasure. Procrastination is generally based on our fear. So what's behind it? It can be caused by a variety of causes. For example, when you have too many things on your table, your brain just stalls, which is basically down to how well you can prioritize and possibly delegate work, and also how easy can you let go the not important stuff. It can also be caused by a fear of success. Weirdly, but this is the sort of fear that plays a big part in our lives, and in most cases we are not even aware of its existence, mainly down to the reason it is deeply hidden subconscious fear from our past. If it would have been otherwise, we all would end up being leaders with no one to lead. Imagine that in your childhood you've been told that you cannot do something, which in your parents' opinion could have led to a bad outcome. In most cases, this is a type of mind control when you are discouraged from breaking a rule established in the world of adults. And bear in mind that most successful people in this world did know how to break the rules when they needed to. But punishment for breaking the rules has formed this mindset, the fear of trying new stuff, new sensations, but most important, new you and how other people see you and feel about you. And because most of us grew up in a restricted environment where we've been looking at the rule setter from down below, many of us would feel uncomfortable by being on top, being those rule setters if you'd like. Therefore, we classify this as a pain, and as we all know, we try to avoid the pain. Let's have a look at another type of fear that stands behind the procrastination, which is called the fear of a jump, or the fear to make a step forward. I'll start with a bungee jumping analogy. Imagine that you have decided to pump up a little bit of adrenaline into your brain by bungee jumping from a bridge over the canyon. You might have been planning this activity for weeks, browsing the internet, looking for a suitable spot, which pictures made your legs shaking already. You've spent time getting other things out of the way, writing a will and whatnot. When the day has come, you've gathered a good company, drove for the half day to the spot, got through the safety instructions, put the equipment on, and here you are, standing on the verge of a bridge over the mountain river, weeks after you've actually decided to do it, and you're afraid to make a step forward. The abyss is opened in front of you. Nevertheless, you know this is safe. You're afraid to make a step forward and achieve the main goal all this planning was about. So, what went wrong? The trouble is that since you took this decision, you were thinking about it all the time. You see, our brain works that way that if we keep thinking about an event, living through it, imagining, our brain gets stimulated by the same mechanisms as if we would have actually done it in real life. Therefore, we devalue the event and lose any motivation to do it. The real life event does not stimulate our brain so vividly as it used to when we took the initial decision or when we were thinking about it for the first time. And the more we think about it, the more we imitate those sensations in our brain and the more we procrastinate. So even if we know a little bit more about it now, what is the best way to address the issue? Well, some folks I know are using a technique called Pomodoro, which is basically a cooking timer with an absolutely annoying alarm. This way they're trying to delegate the motivation to start doing something onto an object that they cannot control, which in my opinion is pointless because you need to learn to control your procrastination yourself. Otherwise, after some time you will be dependent on this plastic thing and you won't be able to complete any task without it. Beware of this weird addiction. Myself, I split the event into 3 major steps when I'm trying to do anything. Step 1, decision. Step 2, planning. And step 3, action. But the trick is, after decision and planning phases are completed, I just let it go. Some people know it as stick to the plan. My point is, you must build a no thought land between planning and action. If there would be no thoughts, there would be no doubts. If there would be no doubts, there would be no fears. And eventually, there would be no place for procrastination to stop you from completing your task, and you will make a step forward. That was V. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with me, and please keep this video Emperor's thumbs up and toll the bell. Subscribe so you won't miss more stories about the fear of success or overcoming the lack of confidence as a coder. Vale.